Welcome to NYNJPA Weather, your severe weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. We're going to start this morning with a broad view of the water vapor satellite picture with the surface map overlaid. What I want to point out here is that this weather pattern is not really conducive for widespread severe thunderstorms. Potential for thunderstorms? Clearly, the atmosphere is very moist, very humid, and unstable, and capable of producing a shower or thunderstorm at pretty much any time. And we have plenty of boundaries over the northern mid-Atlantic to support the development of thunderstorms, especially this afternoon. But for the most part, what we can take from this entire upper level pattern, notice the blue lines here and the arrows, those are the wind barbs, is that the lifting, the upper level dynamics that would support a severe weather outbreak just are not present. There isn't much in the way of a vertical wind shear in this weather pattern. We do have a jet streak trying to develop over the southern mid-Atlantic that will shift towards the northern mid-Atlantic this afternoon, but that's at 300 millibars, and the rest of the atmosphere relatively has weak winds. So yes, there will be a potential for thunderstorms, and if they reach the higher levels of the atmosphere, they will be capable of producing strong wind gusts. But again, this is not an organized threat. Now, what we're going to have to watch out for are for mid-level disturbances to develop along these weak boundaries over the northern mid-Atlantic to ignite thunderstorms and an isolated severe thunderstorm with the potential for some hail to be rather large. Notice these black areas. These areas are colder, dry air in the upper level environment, and when moisture reaches those environments, the water vapor condenses, forms into water droplets, and then the potential for hail starts to develop as strong updrafts within those thunderstorms develop. Meanwhile, our cold fronts well to the west, well, they continue to lose punch as they move to the east because the brunt of the cool air that is locked up in Canada remains in Canada. So these cold fronts, notice we have two different cold fronts. We have one that's moving through Canada and one moving through the central and western Great Lakes and the northern plains. This second cold front over the United States is much warmer than the first cold front over Canada because there is a separation in the air masses between the real cool air that's locked up in Canada that would bring a significant change to this weather pattern and the more moderated Pacific air mass that's moving through the northern plains that rapidly warms. Basically, the air mass that is moving through the northern plains is a similar air mass to what we had yesterday with low humidity but very warm temperatures. And what we have in place now, as our old cold front washes out and disintegrates, is a much more humid air mass with similar temperatures that will make temperatures feel rather uncomfortable for today. Let's take a look at the latest model guidance. This is the 500 millibar pattern for tomorrow evening from the European model guidance. Now, there's a reason why I'm bringing up tomorrow evening. We have a strong upper level low setting up over northeastern Canada, retrograding back towards the Hudson Bay. We have a strong ridge developing over the western Atlantic that extends into the plains. Now, the ridge is somewhat separated because a heat ridge, or more intense ridge, is developing over the plains because of all of the very hot temperatures. And we also have a trough over the west coast. Now, the reason why I point this out is that, as you'll see as we move forward, this pattern really doesn't change for the next 10 days. As for tomorrow, we're going to have another disturbance, the same cold front that is moving through the central Great Lakes today, attempt to move through the northern mid-Atlantic tomorrow. However, notice that the upper level low and the strong upper level disturbances associated with this upper level low are all focused into Canada. That means when this cold front approaches tomorrow afternoon, that cold front will be weakening rapidly, losing the air mass change that is behind the cold front, and much like the cold front that tried to move through yesterday and on Monday, that cold front will wash out and not have much of an impact on the northern mid-Atlantic. Instead, what we'll see is a few additional showers and thunderstorms, I think the model guidance is overdoing these thunderstorms just a bit as far as coverage, most likely due to some convective feedback in the model guidance. So what I'm expecting is a few scattered to isolated thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and evening as the cold front attempts to move through, but as that cold front moves through, it loses its punch and really doesn't have the ability to produce a widespread, strong to severe thunderstorm threat. So, as you can see, here's our pattern for tomorrow. Let's look 10 days from now. Here we are 10 days later. This is for next Friday, and notice we pretty much have the same pattern. There are a few slight differences, but overall we have the same type of pattern. We have an upper level low sitting over northeastern Canada, retrograding back towards the Hudson Bay. We have another deep trough developing over eastern Canada. Meanwhile, we have a very strong ridge developing from the western Atlantic all the way to the plains. The point I'm trying to make is that what we're experiencing now and what we've been experiencing the past few days is going to continue on for at least through Friday. Now, there'll be periods where we'll have temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s, but lower humidity, and then humidity return as that cold front, or really what essentially is a dry front at this point, starts to wash out, and that hot, humid air reinvades the northern mid-Atlantic. But we'll continue to be stuck in this pattern for at least the next 10 days, if not longer, because there really isn't much in the way in the atmosphere to change this pattern right now. And because of certain setups in the stratosphere, this heat ridge that is developing over the plains and extends into the southeast, well, it's not going anywhere, which is basically the nature of what happens when you set up a cold stratosphere over the mid-latitudes, which happens to be exactly where the United States is and exactly where this heat ridge is setting up. The only good news I could provide here is that if you like going to the beach, this is the type of weather pattern you like. You do have to watch out for a few scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon after 2 and 3 p.m. But overall, if you like going to the beach in hot and humid conditions, this is the weather pattern for you. Thank you for trusting in NYNJPA weather as your severe weather source for the northern mid-Atlantic. As always, I'll be keeping an eye on these thunderstorms, and if anything severe develops, you could trust in the latest coverage from NYNJPA weather via Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. And of course, you can visit nynjpaweather.com as well. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have an excellent day.